sitting in there with his big beard driving. It's like, oh wow.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
That's funny. My son just shaved his off. He's playing points, and he just shaved his off yesterday.
So who was the winner of the biggest beard?
I don't know.
Do you know?
I don't know.
Oh, I forgot to email you back. Either that or we can
Maybe give him a Wolfman Award or something. A Mountain Lion Award or something. Sasquatch look like or something.
I don't even know what that is.
You know, my mom's side of the family, they have lots of hair. My brother.
Hey, Linda, what time's the meeting tomorrow? Christmas meeting?
Oh, is it?
It's like,
Joseph Smith had a little beard, the same. I had a very little beard.
yeah.
My father-in-law is Scandinavian. He had he'd go for 3 days.
It's what, about 45 minutes to get up?
Had a few little blonde whiskers here and there.
They're always so frustrated. What's up?
I have a
How did it work out where you stopped here and counted down all the lights? Was it nice?
Yeah, it did. Everything came on.
My family was here. They really liked it.
Yeah, it was good.
My son had a friend.
Good
that
job.
was that way.
Good. I'm glad it worked
Ninth
out.
grade, beard.
We could have used a firework or two, but I guess it's okay.
Some people are just more hairy.
Into that conversation.
We're talking about growing beard.
Oh,
What did you think?
That's a good group.
I don't see. Do you see Chief Oberg? I don't see him.
He was here.
Oh, there he is. He's with Stephanie.
They have a good soccer program. Really do well.
Everyone state. That's great.
Yeah, they have a great coach. Where he's from, they play lots of soccer.
You bet.
Thank you. Other stuff. What other stuff? Oh, okay. You guys will get it?
Brett, you still want to go first?
Yeah.
Lyle, are we on? Will you give us a pledge? Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you out to our city council meeting this evening. We appreciate all of you in attendance. To get started on our meeting, we will have an opening that will be provided by Council Member Mark Johnson, after which Council Member Brett Garlick will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our beloved Father in heaven, we're so thankful for our community and the good people that live here. We're grateful for the peace and the freedoms we enjoy, and grateful for the blessings that we are blessed with. We pray this evening that as we consider the matters before us on the agenda, that we'll do the things that are best and right for our community and the decisions that are made and the choices. And we pray a special blessing for our community, that we may continue to be safe and blessed, and that our city employees and those that volunteer and serve in our community may be successful in their efforts, and and blessed and prospered. We're grateful for our emergency services such as the police and fire and ambulance, and grateful for their talents and abilities to help us in those times of need. We say these things gratefully and pray a special blessing for the young people, the students, and the children in our community, that they may be safe and protected as well. And we say this thankfully in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Will the audience please rise and repeat with me the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Johnson, Councilmember Garlick, for participating in our opening. Before we get started on tonight's agenda, we'll have brief introductions. My name is Steve Hyatt, and I serve as the mayor of Kaysville City.
Chris Snell, member of the City Council.
Susan Lee, City Council.
Mark Johnson, City Council.
Ron Stevens, City Council.
Brett Garlick, City Council.
Dean Story, Finance Director.
Andy Thompson, Engineer.
Lyle Gibson, Zoning Administrator.
Thank you. We excuse our city manager, John Thacker, who is traveling out of town this evening. The next item on our agenda is Volunteer of the Month recognition. We'll turn the time over to Councilmember Brett Garlick, who oversees our Parks and Recreation Department.
We'd like to congratulate Meredith Smith, who was named Kaysville's Volunteer of the Month for December. Meredith has been the director of the Pedal Away Parkinson's bike ride held at Gailey Park in Kaysville. The 10-mile event draws up to 350 bike riders of all ages and riding skills. With the support of her family, friends, participants, and local businesses, she has raised over $130,000 over the last 10 years that the event has operated. In 2015, they set a record reaching $20,000 for Parkinson's. Meredith's mother, Cheryl Healy, was diagnosed in 1998 with early onset Parkinson's disease at the age of 54. Seeking a way to contribute to a solution for the disease, Meredith's mother, Cheryl Healy, and other Parkinson's patient, Deb Mraz, met in 2006 to put together a fundraising bicycle ride resulting in the Pedal Away Parkinson's bike ride. Meredith assisted with the first event, then offered to manage it in all subsequent years, improving it each year with more riders, face painting, balloons, silent auctions, snow cones, and live music. She is grateful for the support she gets from Kaysville Parks and Rec each year in planning her event. This was her last year as ride director, and she looks forward to participating in the event herself. She was honored by Mayor Hyatt this year and received a proclamation as July 18, 2015 as Meredith Smith Day. Meredith loves to read, play tennis, travel, and play with her busy and growing kids, 8-year-old Monroe, 6-year-old Ellison, and 2-year-old Grayson. Meredith also assists with running her husband's business, Pro Modern Finish. Congratulations to Meredith. Meredith, will you come up, please?
Thank you. Let's give another round of applause for Meredith. A lot of time and effort goes into making the Pedalway Parkinson's a wonderful event every year and a thing that we look forward to in our community. So thank you, Meredith, for your efforts and for your great example. The next item on our agenda that we're going to discuss here briefly tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have with us tonight, I feel like celebrities in our midst, the Davis High School girls soccer team. We're going to watch a little video clip. I think that might be a better introduction than anything that I can say. A couple of clips of a few different stories.
Nationally ranked as high as Davis High School girls soccer team is not only undefeated, not only the defending 5A state champs, but they're also nationally ranked as high as third in the country. Very impressive. It took them just 90 seconds to score against Fremont in today's 5A semifinals. Olivia Wade finds the back of the net to put the darts up early, and they held on for the win. Fremont came this close to getting the equalizer. But a great save by Kendall Baker makes the save there. A great save gives the 19-year-old Darts a chance to defend their title Friday at Rio Tinto Stadium. They get the winner title.
5A Girls Soccer Championship match, Davis and Weaver. The Darts rank 6th in the nation and win today. They'll finish 20-0. Kayla Colahan puts the ball in net for the first half. It was 1-0 Darts, and that's the way it ended. Davis winning its second straight title. 1-0 is your final. 4A Girls.
Hey, congratulations to the Davis girls soccer team. They finished the season ranked #1 in the USA Today Top 25. They went 20-0 this season and defended their 5A state championship. Now they can call themselves national champions. How about that?
Any of that? So we've been watching with awe as this wonderful team has shown dedication, perseverance, real focus on the sport and love of the game. And we feel that more often we need to recognize and honor the youth in our community for their wonderful efforts. So there's a couple of things we're going to do tonight. I'm going to read just a little bit from this story from the Deseret News. The Davis High School girls soccer team found itself on top of USA Today's Super Expert 25 rankings on Tuesday. The 20-0 Darts allowed just 8 goals all season while scoring 109 on their way to the state title. They were led by Deseret News Ms. Soccer Haley Kachakarni. Did I do that right? I practiced. All right. And high school All-American Ireland Dund, as well as BYU commits Olivia Wade and Michaela Colahan. Thank you. Just to name a few from the deep team. Davis had slowly risen in the rankings, moving up to #2 after defeating Weber for the state title. And as we saw in that news clip, named national champions, the #1, 2, and I might point out, of the top 25 nationally ranked teams, only 4 were even west of the Mississippi, let alone being #1 in the entire nation. I think is pretty awesome. So congratulations, girls. You've done us proud. So there's a couple of things we want to do. We want to recognize the girls. I think many of them are here tonight, but there's a few things we want to present. And so maybe I'm going to read all your names, and then I'll have you come up. We have team members, all the team members here: Jamie Alvarez, Haley Kachakarni, Maddie Carter, Mandy Carter, Ireland Dunn, Riley Jacobs, Megan Rowe, Mia Stoddard, McCall Tingy, Reagan Youngberg, Michaela Colahan, Lindsay Dorita, Susie Eames, Anika Jaycox, Allie McGill, Kaylee Morgan, Abby O'Brien, Allie Alcott, Ellie Robinson, Hannah Sanders, Taylor Woods, Haley Atwater, Kendall Baker, Sammy Bates, Cassidy Bacco, Olivia Griffin, Tabitha Howard, Alexa Maple, Kate McMaster, Maddie McLeod, Haley Moffitt, Abby Nielsen, Cammie Ober, Olivia Wade, Cassidy Webb, Riley Whitesides, Gabby Uboldi, Kaylee Anderson, Zoe Jacobs, Presley Rigby, managers Courage Cottrell, Cade Kasparian, Will Vander Merrily, thank you. Merrily, coaches, and I just was told it's just Coach Suley. That's easier. I tried that one for the longest time, and I thought I won't get it. Derek Amano, Colette Smith, Josh Hernandez, trainer Carrie Bezant, athletic director Miley Zachman, and we have with us also tonight the principal of Davis High School, Richard Swanson. So girls, and coach, why don't you join us up here to the front? We have a couple things we'd like to present to you if we could. So there's a couple of things we want to do, girls. First of all, we'd like to present you this proclamation. And there's nothing like an elected official reading off a paper to really put people to sleep. But I'm gonna read this real quickly, at least the highlights. Proclamation, Davis High School Girls Soccer Team. Whereas soccer became to the United States in the 1850s by Scottish, Irish, German immigrants, and whereas soccer became an Olympic sport in 1908. Whereas soccer is the #1 youth participation sport in America, and whereas soccer brings families of all ages and abilities together for fun, friendship, and fitness, and whereas the citizens of Kaysville recognize the hard work, exceptional talent, and dedication of the members of the Davis High School girls soccer team, whereas in 2015 the Davis High School girls soccer team scored 109 goals, allowing just 8 goals in 20 games, whereas 5 Davis High School girls soccer team players scored in the double figures, and whereas the Davis High School girls soccer team ended their 2015 season undefeated, whereas on October 6, 2015, the Davis High School soccer team earned the title of 5A state championships, and whereas the Davis High School girls soccer team received the #1 ranking by USA Today, and whereas Haley Kachakarni has been named Miss Soccer 2015 by the Deseret News, whereas hard work, valiant effort, and dedication have been exemplified by all team members that you see here, whereas Kaysville City Council extends its heartfelt congratulations and sincere best wishes to the members of the Davis High soccer team. Therefore, I, Steve Hyatt, Mayor of Kaysville City, hereby proclaim December 1st through December 8th as Davis High School Girls Soccer Team Week in the city of Kaysville. Coach, I'll present this to the coach. Who do you want me to present this to? All of it? All right. There you go. Congratulations. So I'll shake your hand. Should we do it real official there? Congratulations. All right. Good job. I have a couple of other things we want to, we have a copy that we will give each of you that Councilmember Snell will hand out to you here in 1 second. And then we also wanted to give you something a little more official. And so our good friends at Gold Star Award made this plaque that says, in honor, recognition, and appreciation, Davis High School girls soccer team. It has Davis written here with all of your names kind of written into the background, which is pretty cool. Including the coaches, we congratulate you and celebrate an undefeated season, state champions, #1 nationally ranked by USA Today. With our respect and admiration, we thank you for your example to our community. Congratulations, Kaysville City Council Mayor Steve Hyatt, Council Members Mark Johnson, Ron Stevens, Brett Garlick, Susan Lee, and Chris Snell. Congratulations. I tell you, it really is like we're among celebrities here because we just keep on giving you things. So. And last but not least, I'm cheating on my notes. We'd also like to give a special honor to Haley. As I was looking at things that I might be able to share, not only was Haley named Miss Soccer, the Deseret News, she was also named All-Area MVP for the Standard Examiner. The good gentleman, the Standard Examiner, wanted to make sure I reminded you all of that. Haley was as it says here in this article, Haley was a stalwart center, back anchored to the dominant back line of the Davis defense, which recorded 14 shutouts, including 3 and 4 playoff games, and successfully gave up less than 10 goals for the entire year. And she continued to come up big in high pressure situations all year long. Only a couple of highlights. It is especially rare that the defense gets the glory despite being the spark that ignites the offensive explosions. And Haley said one thing that Coach Suley always told us was not to let the moments be bigger than us, and I think that came into play a lot this season. The University of Utah saw the talent that Haley brings and heavily recruited her just after her sophomore year. The star defender officially and eagerly committed to play for the Utes and is excited for what promises to be a successful future as she prepares to make the same significant impact she did at Davis. So we also want to congratulate Haley on being named Ms. Soccer and present to you a plaque and a key to the city. So that's it. Did you get what you want, parents? It looks like everybody came over here, so that's good. Okay. Coach, would you like to say anything? And then, actually, Coach, and then Haley? Or reverse order?
I'd just like to take this time to thank Mayor Hyatt, the Kaysville City Council, and the whole community for supporting us, the school, the administration, the teachers of Davis High School, and the student body for helping us do this. This wouldn't have been possible without all of your support. I told the girls before we even made our state championship run that we put on a fundraiser before, and we tried to raise money for Operation Underground Railroad. And I said, when we do this, I'll be more proud of you than anything else that we'll do and accomplish this year. And being ranked #1 in USA Today was a pleasant surprise, and we appreciate the recognition, and it's awesome, and it's something these girls will never forget. But I'll never forget that these girls took the time to put on a soccer clinic and raise $5,000 in one day to help fight against human trafficking. So I'd like to give them a little bit of recognition for that, because they're all great girls, they're fantastic soccer players, but even more important, they've done something that'll make an impact for the community and for others in the future. So good job, girls.
Girls, on behalf of a grateful community, we extend our appreciation. As the coach just mentioned, you're all wonderful leaders on and off the field. That's what really counts. We live in a time, we live in a world when so many of us have priorities misaligned. You've been a great example. Clearly, you're the leaders of the tomorrow. We thank you for being here tonight. We thank you for everything you've done. We thank you for your hard work. We thank you for representing your community well. Congratulations. We have a proclamation that we want to give to you, the one that we just read, each of you your own copy, and a Kaysville City pen. For the next week, keep in mind, it is Davis High School Girls Soccer Team Week in the city of Kaysville. The possibilities are endless. If you get pulled over for speeding, show that proclamation to the police officer. You'll still get a ticket, but he'll give you a high five for being part of the team. So congratulations, and as a final parting note, our good friends, the Taylor family over at Yogo Togo, wanted to let us know if the team would like to head over there this evening, the Yogo Togo is free for all of you tonight if you'd like to join. So, let's give them another round of applause. Congratulations. On your way out, come shake the council's hand. It makes us feel really nice.
Good job, Mayor. That's great.
You won't see something like that in late.
One of the things I said to Coach Suley as we extend an invitation to come tonight and be recognized is we said that the best thing we think we can do to show our appreciation for your hard work is not make you stay for any more of the meeting than you have to. So they got the memo and they're on their way to Yogo Togo to enjoy a good evening. So I know they're on their way out, but let's give them another round of applause for good time. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is presentation on Davis County Citizens Police Academy. You wanted to make this introduction? Sure. Turn the time to Councilmember Brett Garlick.
I'd like to introduce the administrator of the Davis County Citizens Police Academy from the Woods Cross Police Department, Stephanie Gonzalez, and also our chief, Saul Olberg, and Crystal Isaacson, who works for our police department, but also participated in the police academy during this last session with me. So before I say any more, I'm going to turn the time over to Stephanie, and she can explain a little bit about the police academy.
Well, it's hard to follow what just happened. Congratulations. This is quite the city, isn't it? That's what I think about Woods Cross, however, so anyway. And the chief has assured me if I embarrass myself in any way, he will push me out of the way and take over, so we're good. All right, so I'm Stephanie Gonzalez. I'm the crime prevention specialist at the Woods Cross Police Department. I'm also the coordinator of the Davis County Citizens Police Academy. We combine with, obviously, your police department, Farmington, Bountiful, Centerville, North Salt Lake, South Davis Metro Fire, the Sheriff's Office, and the County Attorney's Office. What we do is we put on the Citizens Police Academy, which he said, it's designed to build a bond of mutual trust and respect between the police department and their communities. Additionally, I'm obviously nervous, I apologize. Additionally, our academies highlight the importance of citizen participation in public safety and helping our communities remain free from the fear of crime. Nowadays, that's obviously quite crucial with you turning the news on for any reason. A little bit about our organization. We did win Agency of the Year from the National Citizen Police Academy. We were able to go to Kentucky and accept that honor. And we also won the bid to host the national conference in 2016. This will be the last week of April at the Zermatt in Midway. We have confirmed speakers. He spoke of the Underground Railroad. They're actually going to come. The Attorney General is going to be there. Alema Harrington, he's actually a sportscaster of what you just showed as well. And a discussion on the Ferguson, Missouri, and the root of the problem, drugs, that kind of thing in communities. On top of that, we also received a $20,000 donation to start our alumni association. So we've done some amazing things so far in the few years that we've been doing this. March 2nd is when our next class begins. They are held on Wednesday nights from 6 to 9 p.m., and it's 13 weeks, and it's quite a time commitment. However, I guarantee you will not be disappointed if that's something you can do. If Wednesday nights don't work for you in the fall, we will change that to Thursday nights. So I will let these two wonderful people speak as well.
So I'm Crystal Isaacson. I work over at the PD. I work in records and dispatch. So even though I work at the police department and I work with these officers every day, I still learned a ton from this class, and it's helped me in my job. I think one of the most eye-opening classes for me was the high-risk and felony stop night, which we were put in like real-life scenarios using airsoft guns, which was kind of cool. But I shot a flea man like 6 times, which is not good. But it was an eye-opening experience. you know, you get to see that these officers have to make split-second decisions in very high-stress and dangerous situations. So that was neat for me to see. It was also neat to see everyone's perception of law enforcement change in the class and realize that these guys aren't, you know, just out to get you. They're men and women that, you know, have families, and they're just trying to do their jobs, and they're put in tough situations. So I have a whole new appreciation for law enforcement. And I'm grateful I get to work with these guys. So I encourage each of you to take the class. You'll learn a lot from it, and I'm sure it'll help you, you know, in what you do. So.
Thank you, Crystal, and thank you, Mayor and Council, for giving us a few minutes to talk about this program. It's one of our community outreach programs that we are doing, and we appreciate Stephanie doing the lion's share of the work on this. And as she mentioned, it's open to any citizen in Davis County, but we, as a police department, find a lot of value in our elected officials and maybe some critics of the police department attending, because oftentimes those are where the decisions or in the conflict and things like that are being made. And so I appreciate Councilman Garlick coming this last time. I know North Salt Lake's mayor attended as well, and he seemed to get a lot out of it. And these two talked about what they maybe get out of it, but it's great for the police officers too, because it gives us a chance to talk to citizens and see what their misunderstandings or misperceptions or concerns are about what they see and what they hear and their understandings, so that when we go out, we have a better understanding of what some of those misperceptions are, and maybe we can correct some of them. But our academy is taught, as she mentioned, by officers from all the police departments, basically from Kaysville South in Davis County. So you get a great mix, and it speaks a lot to the camaraderie we have with our other police departments and the way we will go help them and they help us, and just the partnerships that we have with them. And you get a taste from law enforcement from all these different cities. I have not had one person say they regretted the time they put into it, or it was a waste of time, a waste of resources. Everybody gives very positive reviews. And as Stephanie mentioned, we actually won the national award this past year. So it's a very good program. I would encourage any of our citizens that read the minutes or listen to the council meeting, call us, and we'll help them get signed up to attend. And if they can't go this next time, it's something that we do ongoing, and hopefully they can go the time after or in an upcoming year. And certainly it's open to all the city staff, mayor, council, any of you that would like to attend. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to get a hold of me, and hopefully I can answer those questions, or I can set you up with Stephanie and or Crystal, who's going to liaison this from our department going forward. So thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, it was how many weeks?
13.
13.
So let me say a couple of things, and then maybe they have some more questions. But I just wanted to maybe give you the perspective of an elected official attending this. First of all, with what's going on in our country right now, and the conflict that is on the news between the community and the police department, I think that it's important for us to become educated, to understand what the police are going through and what we can do to help them, and also provide feedback to them of how they can help us. And I think this gives us an opportunity to work with many of the law enforcement agencies in the county and all the cities from, as the chief said, from Kaysville South in Davis County. I don't want to overlook the fact that this academy was awarded the national award for the best academy, and it's because of the work that Stephanie does and the impact that it's having on the citizens here and the police departments here, and that they are hosting the National Police Academy Conference here in Utah. I think that's pretty exceptional.
Let me interject really quick. I appreciate those kind words. However, I'm a religious person. I feel it's a totally inspired program. This is not me, but thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Let me just share with you a couple of the things that we experienced through this 13-week course. We were able to participate in the fire department, actually put on, the fire uniforms and haul stuff around and, all this stuff. It's awful. I would never be a fireman. Thank you, firemen, for what you do. We went through a DUI education program. That was actually the first class that we did, and it was amazing. The things that you think policemen are doing when they're doing all this kind of stuff, it's not at all what they're doing. We had a couple of volunteers actually get drunk for us, and then we were able to do these tests that we were taught, and it's amazing the kind of things the police officers need to learn in order to detect whether someone is impaired. It was amazing what we learned that night. We went through a sex crime seminar. We had a SWAT night where we actually got to go out and shoot real guns and go into a hot house that's supposedly has criminals, it's cardboard people. But we all also got to stand up and watch. Who was it that went in? Was it you, Crystal? That went in and shot maybe the wrong people. But anyway, she didn't. No, she didn't. But it was a lot of excitement that night, but we also learned how hard it is on these police officers because of the quick decisions that they have to make. And without the training that they are provided ongoing constantly, it doesn't become second nature or that muscle memory so that you can make the right decisions right off and keep yourself safe and keep those innocent people around you safe. That was a great one. We went to the county jail and did a tour through that, and I had no idea how large that facility was. It's an amazing facility. We met with the county attorney. We came here at our police department and did a K-9 and fingerprinting. But as Crystal said, the high-risk stop night was probably the most impactful because you really do have to make split-second decisions, and if not, you're killing the wrong person or you're getting killed. And we actually had KSL there that night, and Val, what's the reporter's name? Anyway, she was there and she tried it herself, and it was really difficult to make sure that you're doing the right thing with only the 15-minute instruction that we got. And it just helped me understand the importance of the training and the equipment and the resources that the police department need just to function, just to make sure that they stay safe. I thought because I had spent so much time with the chief and with the police officers, because I meet with the chief every month, and I have since he got here. And I've been going on ride-alongs with our police officers frequently over the last 5 years. And so I thought I was pretty well educated in the police department, but I had no idea. I really didn't. This really opened my eyes and educated me on a lot of things that I really had no clue. And I think especially elected officials, and as the chief said, people who may be critics of the police department, I think this will be an eye-opening experience. And I encourage those of you who are remaining on the council and those of you who are here that are newly elected, that you take this course and understand what the police department and the other parts of the justice system in Davis County have to go through to keep us safe. I think it's the most important service our city and county provide, and I think it's worth the time for you to invest in it to become educated and really can make the right decisions when you are voting on budgets or trying to determine what kind of resources we want to provide our police and fire departments. So I really would encourage you to take this course. It was an amazing course. So thank you for doing that, Stephanie.
And I would like to challenge your citizens as well, but I would really especially like to challenge you guys. Your counterparts in different cities. We've had mayors from Sunset, my mayor, we've had North Salt Lake, we've had numerous mayors that have taken this class that their eyes are open in a different way. City council people, I truly encourage you to do the same. And please, if you don't feel that this is something for you, reach out to the Woods Cross City Council, reach out to Centerville. We've had numerous ones from each city come. Bountiful's the only one I haven't persuaded yet. We'll see how that goes. By any means, please, if there's any way you guys can do this, we would love to have you, and I promise it won't be a waste of your time.
Is there a limit to how many people can be in each session?
25, but if you call me, I will let you in.
What if you miss one or two of the classes? Do they kick you out?
No, I definitely won't kick you out. If you miss one or two, that's totally fine. I understand how real life works. I'm a mom of 4 boys. I know what life is about. However, it is something that you would want to come the next time if possible, if you think about it, to make those up. We have a night where you can get tased if you choose to.
I
the
forgot about that.
The mayor of North Salt Lake did it. You can see his video, and it's quite fun, honestly.
No, there's no way I would ever do that, ever. But there was
I
quite a
did,
few
and it
that
was
did.
all right.
It's pretty crazy, but yeah, I had to miss a couple. And the thing that I found too is we went through the course. There were people that would just come in for one night because they missed it from a previous session. So if you miss a night, you can go in the next session.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And you said that was 5:30 to 9?
6 to 9.
6
Oh,
to 9.
6 to 9.
And we
Starts March 2nd?
March 2nd. We travel throughout the city, and so you get to see every police department that does this. And so it kind of gives you an eye-opening experience that way, too.
And because they're changing city council nights to Thursday, this would be a great time while it's still on Wednesday.
All right. Thank you very much for allowing me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And Chief, just to clarify, our dispatchers are not armed, is that right? It's a little better knowing now that Crystal shot the wrong people.
She would like to, though, and I'm just grateful she's not tonight because she probably would have hit me with something because I made her talk tonight. So, Crystal, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Next item on our agenda is call to the public. This is the time in our city council meeting when we open the microphone to any of you in attendance that would like to address the city council. If you would like to address the city council regarding one of tonight's agenda items, there are no scheduled public hearings, so this would be your opportunity to address the city council regarding an agenda item this evening. The opportunity is also available to address the city council for a concern or a suggestion or a thought that you might have. We do ask that you keep your comments limited to 3 minutes. Our city recorder does keep track of time, and when you hear a subtle beeping up front, that's an indication that your time has expired. So with that, we will open the microphone for call to the public.
My name is Brig Lewis, and I've got 2 things. First, some comments, and then I have some questions. The things I'd like to comment on have to do with the November the 10th City Council meeting. The first one, Destination Homes versus Mr. Rigby, and concerning the future encroachment that he was concerned about. As I listened to the discussion, there were 3 groups at fault in the argument. Mr. Rigby, Destination Homes, and Kaysville City. First, Mr. Rigby is at fault for believing that the Kaysville zoning and other city officials would be alert and honest. They weren't. They never spent the time or the energy to evaluate the whole proposal for the plat map. Second, Destination Homes was dishonest in including property in their calculation that did not belong to them and that they did not control. It was not an outright lie, but it was a bending of the truth because it misled others. Third, Kaysville City officials were at fault for approving a development plot that was misrepresented. Then they claim that any home buyer will be aware of the issues before they purchase one of the homes. They accepted Destination Homes' proposal without digging into it. In a few years, that Mr. Ferber, when he decides to develop the 3.5 acres that were included there into 5 or 6 flag homes for his heirs, who will say, no, you can't do that? Mr. Ferber will fight, and guess who will win? The Kaysville City was not exactly up front there. It was interesting that Destination Homes said that all the home buyers would do due diligence before they purchase one of the homes. Has anyone ever done a thorough due diligence when buying a home? I have not. I'm not aware of any others. Even the realtors will not provide a full due diligence. If they did, there would be some homes they simply would not sell. In all the years where we have lived in both California here and Utah, I have never seen an animal owner who had the right to keep the animals be able to keep them very long after a new subdivision was built next to him. The new homeowners would make complaints to the city, and his animals would be gone. I feel sorry for Mr. Rigby for what he tried to do and what's going to happen to him in probably 3 to 5 years after Destination Homes has built the homes and gone on. I have some questions now. On the next one, it was the JRC Architect's Master Plan that was presented for the city. 4 questions. 1, who authorized the expenditures of funds for the study? Number 2, second, how much of the taxpayer dollars were spent on doing this plan? Third, why did the last statement in the notification of the presentation indicate that the JRCA was ready to move forward when the City Council voted for the presentation, if it was a plan? Fourth, last one, who gave the order for the nursery to vacate the property? If this was only a plan, why the urgency? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other items for call to the public? All right, seeing none, we will close call to the public and move to our next agenda item, which is number 6, Burton Lane safety concerns, which the applicant who has asked to be on the agenda has asked to be removed from the agenda, and we are addressing her concerns separately outside of the meeting. So that brings us to our next item, number 7, Miller Subdivision Preliminary Plat at 1766 West Phillips Street, consisting of 2 flag lots on Phillips Street.
Property under consideration is highlighted here on the map. This is on Phillips Street. You can see it's somewhat oddly configured property as to its frontage. It only abuts the road in a small section. It's currently an existing home and a barn on the property. The request is to build 1 additional home on the property. The preliminary plat's a little rougher than what we're sometimes used to because of the questions that needed to be answered before they went and spent some money. As reviewed by the Planning Commission, it was determined that the best configuration would be to do a single flag lot. The picture here, lot 2 would be the flag lot. And although lot 1 appears to be a flag lot, we actually measure frontage at the 30-foot setback line, which is here. The flag lot is 30 feet wide, so the lot width is measured at that point. That way this would be a standard lot, this would be the flag lot. It would be joint access with a driveway here that would access both homes. As I mentioned, it was reviewed by the Planning Commission. They felt this was an acceptable layout of the property and met the requirements of the ordinance and recommended a preliminary plat. I will mention the actual lot lines. The actual lot lines may be adjusted in the back to divide the properties up slightly different than what they've shown here, but the concept would be the same. So we'd ask that we'd recommend a preliminary plat approval for this subdivision, and then they'll be comfortable spending the money to get an actual engineered one for the final plat.
Thank you. So there was a public hearing held during the Planning Commission meeting. Can you give us maybe an indication of any public comments that were made? Or
The only person that was there was the next door neighbor to the west, Mr. Robbins. He was concerned about the trees that run along the property line there and what would happen to him. Apparently his power service that comes to his home comes through there. Obviously we don't regulate trees to any real extent in the city. Their intent is to leave the trees there and put the driveway behind the trees.
Okay. Thank you.
There were no other issues raised during the public hearing?
No other issues. There was some discussion on how to configure the property so it met the ordinance, and they made that determination that that was acceptable method.
Is there any concern about the home being too close to the line the front line. If you go back to the other picture that shows the lines and, or, yeah, that, where the corner of the home seems to be awfully close to the line, the edge of the property.
No, in fact, I just received today a surveyed picture, and that home's 30 feet off the property line.
It is, okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve the preliminary plat and the PRUD overlay zone for Miller subdivision.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a motion by Councilmember Johnson, a second by Councilmember Garlick for an approval as outlined. Any further discussion? Will you go back one slide for me, Andy? I appreciate that we have so many scouts that are here tonight. I think we have some of the most attended city council meetings in regards to scouts anywhere in northern Utah. As I talk to other mayors, they say, we'll occasionally get one or two. And I say, we usually occasionally get like 15 or 20, it seems like every meeting. So we're glad to have you here. I just want to tell you briefly, this whole area out here at one point was a big field. Nothing ever existed. And before each of these homes could get built, you can kind of see these green lines. This is an existing field. Property owners have to come into the city council and ask for, well, the city has certain rules and regulations to make sure that property is developed appropriately, and that's what we're discussing tonight. So much like you can see, this field is divided into little lots that a developer will sell. They'll have to install the road. We make sure that they have water and sewer and gas and electricity and everything to each one of these lots. What we're discussing tonight is this property, this person who owns this property, you go back to the other slide, wants to take that shaped lot and make it into two lots. So that's what we're discussing right now. So with that, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Councilmember Snell, will you start a vote?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Voting is unanimous. Next item on our agenda is number 8, Thornfield Phase 2 subdivision preliminary and final plat at 810 East Windsor Lane, consisting of one lot on Thornfield Road.
We reviewed this property earlier in the summer. This is Thornfield Road and Windsor Lane here. When Thornfield subdivision was developed about 20 years ago, shortly after that, each home went and bought the property, the vacant property behind them, and extended their yards into the back. Home on the corner now would like to build essentially a garage in that back property, since it was what we call illegally subdivided. When they split that up and took over those parcels, we need to bring it into compliance. We reviewed it earlier this year with the intent of just adding it to his existing lot, making one large lot. He reviewed his house plans with his builder. They determined that it was very difficult, if not impossible, to extend the utilities from the house back to that garage. And some utilities don't allow two services to one lot. So the only way we could figure out how to make this work was to split this off as a separate lot. That way they could have their own set of services to serve the property. You can see several utilities, which made it difficult. It does meet all the criteria as a lot for that zone in that area, and it's been recommended for preliminary and final plat approval by the Planning Commission.
Access to Thornfield, or access to the garage or whatever the structure that's on there will be off of Thornfield, right?
That's correct, yes.
There was a public hearing.
Public hearing, I believe there was no comments, as I recall.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, I'd welcome a motion.
Mayor, I move that we approve Thornfield Phase 2 subdivision preliminary and final plat.
I'll second it.
Thank you. A motion by Councilmember Garlick and a second by Councilmember Stevens for approval as outlined. Any further discussion? Councilmember Lee, will you start a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. I believe that was Councilmember Lee that had the second on that.
Actually, Councilmember Stevens.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
It was quiet, but it was...
Yeah, you're usually not that quiet, Ron.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, number 9, City Side Townhome Subdivision Preliminary Plat at 265 North, 200 West, and 209 West, 300 North, consisting of 12 townhomes on 200 West and 300 North Streets.
This Properties again highlighted. This is the post office, this is the grocery store, so it's just behind them. They've acquired, currently there's 2 homes on the 2 parcels there. They've acquired those properties and wish to develop them. So you look at the zoning map in that area, see that the property is currently zoned RM. This is the Wad Square apartments behind them, commercial business around the Bishop Soccer Field and Bishop Storehouse. Proposal is to put in a townhome development, kind of similar to what we did where the old motel was. Would be 3 buildings of 4 units each. A little closer up of what the units would be, with shared common drive and parking, and open space in the back where they could have some playground area. Each unit, well, there's 10 units would look something like this. 3-story with garage at the bottom, being served off the back, and then living areas above that. Meets the requirements for the RM zoning with the density. In order to make these individual lots so that each unit could be sold independently rather than 4plexes, they need to do the PRUD overlay zone. That's typically addressed by the council at final plat, but just to make you aware that that would be a requirement. That means each of these units would be sold and the rest of the property would be common space. Again, the planning commissioners reviewed it and recommended approval.
Thank you, council. You've had a chance to review this. Any questions?
What would be the approximate size of each of these units?
My name's Chad Bessinger with JF Capital. They're about 1,600 to 1,900 square feet.
And they are owner occupied, is that right? These
Yeah,
are not
they're all
rentals?
going to be for sale. Yep, no rentals.
Okay.
At least we're not building them to rent them. We're building them to sell them.
It would be still like an HOA though, where the
Yep, all the,
outdoors.
if you went back to the other slide, all that common area, other than the footprint of what the building, of like say unit 101, unit 101 would buy just that building, and then essentially they'd own like an undivided interest in the common area open space, which would be managed by an HOA.
I think this is a great, oftentimes we look for places where this would fit well, and I can't think of a better place for it to fit and a better development. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I agree.
I do too.
I'll make a motion that we approve the preliminary plat and the PRUD overlay for the city side townhome subdivision.
Second.
I think we have a motion by Councilmember Johnson and a second by Councilmember Garlick for approval as outlined. Any further discussion? All right, Mr. Johnson, will you start a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Chad.
Thanks, Chad.
Great idea.
Next on our agenda is number 10, acceptance of improvements in Hill Farm subdivision Phase 2B at 200 North Angel Street.
So we do on occasion, when subdivisions are complete and inspected by the Public Works Department, we accept the improvements. Phase 2B of Hill Farms has reached that point. Improvements have been installed. Received a letter of recommendation from the Public Works that says they're up to an acceptable level. No additional issues remaining here, so we'd recommend acceptance of the improvements with the normal 1-year warranty and 10% surety bond.
Mayor, I move that we approve the acceptance of the improvements for Hill Farms Phase 2B subdivision and accept them with the normal 1-year warranty period and a 10% surety.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilmember Garlick and a second by Councilmember Snell for approval as outlined. Any further discussion? Councilmember Stevens, will you start a vote?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is approval of interlocal cooperation agreement with Davis County for Justice Court Services. Mr. Story.
You have a copy in your packet of the interlocal cooperation agreement between Davis County and Kaysville City for Justice Court Services. This agreement provides for the continuation of Justice Court Services through the county under the same terms that we're currently operating. It's ready for your adoption.
So there's not any changes at all?
No.
Okay.
And this more or less formalizes what
yeah.
we have had ongoing for years, right?
Correct.
Mayor, I move that we approve the resolution with the interlocal cooperation agreement between Kaysville City and Davis County for the purposes of court services.
I'll
Second.
second it.
You got it.
I think we have a motion by Councilmember Garlick and a second by Councilmember Lee for approval of the interlocal agreement as outlined. Any further discussion? Mr. Garlick, will you start a vote?
Aye.
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 Aye. I think that's the first time I've ever started. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I usually
Who gets this far?
I usually skip over you.
It's exciting.
Next on our agenda is councilmember reports.
Mayor, I just first want to apologize that I wasn't able to make the parade last night due to work emergencies. But my family was here, and they reported to me that it was awesome. So maybe you guys, you were all there, maybe you can report. But I just wanted to thank Parks and Rec again for their selfless service and spending nights, weekends, and everything else to help put on these civic events in the community, and all the volunteers that help as well. It's a great tradition, so maybe you guys can give me your report.
You know, just to comment, that will be my last parade, but I'll have memories for the rest of my life of the children, and I just don't think we have a clue as to what we bring into their lives. They're so excited with what they have and the candy and those kind of things, but it's been a great experience.
Yeah, I think the turnout seemed the biggest I recall in the city block, really starting from Zion's Bank all the way down to the city block. Almost felt as busy as the 4th of July on that little, there was a lot of people down here. The donuts were and the hot chocolate on the city block were great. Had a pretty good turnout for Santa over at the rec center. Maybe not as busy as last year, but I don't think we advertised quite the same way in the schools. So that maybe that will be something we do next year. But I think the turnout and the setting and everything about it was.
Was the sound system okay?
Yeah.
With the countdown?
Yeah.
That's good.
It's very
good.
That's good. Well, just to report that the tree that you see out here, the red and white one, which really is incredible, as some of these other trees that they've just planted get a little more mature, they'll be doing that same thing, and I think you'll find City Block can be the best anywhere around. I think it's going to be nice.
It looks really awesome.
It does look
Better
awesome.
than I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
And when I noticed, as soon as it lit up, I looked over and I saw the red clock tower.
Yeah, see,
I don't know if you
finally
noticed that.
saw it, and I was actually going to bring that up again as one of my last requests, and I am serious. I still think it's something the council should consider, is repainting the clock tower to a different color. So thank you for segueing me into that. I still feel strong about it, and I still hear comments from people. You can finally see it because it's lit up in red, but anyway, I think it's something, I'm not going to push it before I leave, but I think it's something you guys should consider. One last thing, we have our New Year's Eve celebration coming up on the 31st. It'll be my last official act as city councilman, calling bingo, so it's going to be awesome. Encourage everybody to come. It's a great night. We end at 10, so all the little kids can come and count down New York time. And we give away fantastic prizes in bingo. We feed everybody. There's lots of music and entertainment. It's really a fun family night experience for New Year's Eve. So I encourage all the citizens to join us at Davis High on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. I was proud of the Youth City Council, Mark. They did a great job of decorating the
kids.
float. Good kids.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
Really good kids.
Yeah.
You've done a great job with that
Well,
group.
thanks.
I just wanted to report that I had gone to the school, elementary school boundary open house, And something that we'll have to, I'm sure we're aware of, look into is there's a lot of new area that won't have any sidewalk access, and they're walking schools, and I'm sure we're going to have to start looking into that for the new school. So, and may come up with some ideas.
Yeah, right when we feel like we finally make some headway, they go and build a new school on us.
Yeah.
Darn it.
That was probably the one complaint, or not complaint, concern a lot of parents had that were there when they were looking at the new school, was sidewalk access. So I'm sure we need to maybe be preemptive.
And I think that's probably a good suggestion. We've got time, but we really don't have that much time, especially when you take into account the construction season. We dealt with this a little bit when Endeavor was built, and as we looked at the school coming, we tried to identify as a city what we thought the safe routes would be and where the improvements would be required. The cart before the horse situation comes in because the school's community council is tasked with the responsibility of identifying the safe routes to schools and then reporting where they think we need improvements to the city. And we dealt with that a little bit last time. Down on south of Shepherd Lane, we made a couple of connections and a crosswalk and did our best guess, and I think we did okay. I think there's still some areas that we probably need to improve upon. But one, and that's just something we can talk about a little more, but one thing that might be advantageous is if a principal has been named or when a principal is named and once the boundaries are solidified, it would be great for the school to identify potential future members of the community council and have them start meeting before the school opens so that they can actually have some feedback. And because the right way to do it, according to the SNAP program, is the community council identifies the safe routes to schools and reports that information to the city engineer. I think you even sign the SNAP document, don't you? And so that's the best way to do it. And so we'll work with the schools to help them to understand that. I remember Ron and I had a lot of conversations too down there, and we were wanting to get ahead of it and do it for them, and on the flip side, they're supposed to be the ones to tell us how they'd like it prioritized, but I think we can do that. It's good feedback.
Well, and based on a little bit of experience, I think it's wise for us to not give false expectations, because I've just never been acquainted with a city that could take on sidewalk building. It's very, very expensive, and it creates some concerns among property owners. I think if we can kind of send a signal that our role is more a role of coordinating, facilitating, supporting, but my caution would be to be careful if a signal is sent out that we're going to get in the sidewalk building business, because that is very, very expensive.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just, make us aware of what's coming.
Right.
I think working together like we did on connecting Ramola down to Galbraith and the park was a partial city effort, but we put it back on the neighbor and the community council, even asking them to identify the most critical needs, which Sunset from Wits End down to the junior high is one. Sunset south of the junior high connecting Sunset Equestrian with the junior high is another. And then Angel Street from the roundabout north to Galbraith and the park were the three areas that the community council identified. And so we said to them, you identify what your top priority is, and then let's work together to prioritize them. They identified Angel Street, and it worked well together with them coming up with being, as it should be, the kind of the driving force. But we had a good compromise. That was one of our better success stories in that. So we'll keep mindful of that. I appreciate you bringing that up. And I appreciate you attending as well. Any other items for council member reports? All right, hearing none, we'll move to our next item, which is approval of minutes. We have one set of minutes dated November 10th, 2015, which is the last time we've been together. It's been nice not being around all of you.
I reviewed those minutes and make the motion that they be approved.
I'll second that.
Thank you. A motion by Councilmember Johnson and a second by Councilmember Lee for approval of the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next on our agenda is approval of claims.
Mayor, I've reviewed the claims dated December 1st in the amount of $1,222,772.31 and move that they be approved.
Second.
Thank you. A motion by Councilmember Garlick and a second by Councilmember Stevens for approval of the claims as outlined. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have a 3-month calendar. As Councilmember Garlick mentioned a few minutes ago, we have the New Year's Eve celebration at Davis High School beginning at 6 p.m. Usually every year, our event chair for the food will invite the City Council to help serve food that evening, so we'd appreciate having you available. Outgoing council members, it ends up being one of your final duties. Of course, Councilmember Garlick will be in doing bingo.
Incoming council members and, other appointed officials are welcome to come and serve as well.
Do you know what time the Children's Carnival ends? Because I've got Youth City Council.
It probably will be 30 minutes before. It may be an hour before, but it'll be either an hour or 30 minutes before it ends, so it'll be either 9 or 9:30.
Okay.
But if they run out of toys before then, they'll shut down early.
Okay. Because these are high school kids that want to go to dances and parties and stuff too.
Tell them the very latest is 9:30, but it'll probably be earlier than that.
Okay. Thank you.
And then
That's all at DHS, right?
Yes, it's all in the commons area. The bingo's over in the little theater.
Which was a great idea, by the way. And when we talked about moving there, I was semi-hesitant, and it's been the best thing we've ever done.
It's great.
Moving it to that location.
It's
been
warm,
really good.
and it's all in one place.
All in one place, I love it. I
It's
love
very
it.
good.
Back in my day, we used to be all kind of out here
Yeah.
in several
Yeah.
different places. It was cold and, yeah.
Good
So I
step.
think that's
Yeah, I
good
think
stuff.
That's great.
Just a reminder, starting January, the first week in January, city council meetings will be moved to the first and third Thursdays of the month. As I look at that calendar with the first, second, third, and fourth Thursdays with meetings, I welcome staff to no longer having Thursday nights available, it looks like, as you look at that, so. But, yeah, it'll be good, we promise. All right. Any other items for the calendar? Seeing none?
Mayor, if I may, just interlude, there's this coming Tuesday, December the 8th, from 5:30 to 8, at the Kaysville City Library, an open house for the active transportation plan, which actually may be a forum for some input on those very items that were discussed regarding sidewalks and schools and those kind of things. So it's an open house. If you have a couple minutes to drop by, grab a cookie, leave some input, and head off just here at the library from 5:30 to 8:30.
He'll be over here
Correct.
in the old library building.
At the new,
Well, the new
New
one.
library.
New library
I
building.
peeked in that old building. It doesn't look very welcoming. Of course, get some well, right. Forget it. See you.
Hey, before we end, Chief,
oh, so 5 to 8:30, excuse me.
5 to
I gave an incorrect time.
Chief, we'd like the police officers to come and help us with bingo again on New Year's Eve. Will you see if you can round up a few people to help us? Thanks.
Does bingo get that serious?
We're fighting.
You should see how serious it is.
It's to prevent cheating.
See what it's like.
Hey, there's a lot of $100 or Amazon gift cards being given away.
It is actually literally very serious. Brett runs a tight ship. It is.
All right.
It is.
You're not
That I can
It
believe.
is more reverent
It's
than
the most
any-
popular thing there, so.
I like the hamburgers better.
I was going to say, I'm going to be dishing out chili. I think I'm going to be pretty popular, but, okay.
Councilmember Lee reminded me, according to state statute, the new city council members, the new city council members will become effective on the first Monday of January at 12 noon or as soon thereafter as timing and schedule permits, I believe it reads. So the plan, as we've talked briefly with the incoming council members, is to take advantage of that Monday, January 4th. We'll have more details coming for sure, but Monday, January 4th at 12 noon, likely here, we'll have a ceremony and officially have them take the oath of office, and then they will be prepared. If we didn't do it Monday at noon, then it would be put back to Thursday, the 7th. And so we'll tentatively planning on doing that, but we'll have more details for you coming. The other thing that we also forgot to mention is on Tuesday, December 15th, here at City Hall from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., we will have an open house for the outgoing city council members, Councilmember Mark Johnson, Ron Stevens, and Brett Garlick, just here in the back of the council chambers, and have some light refreshments. We'll also publicize that event, but we invite you to let those who you've served with know of this open house, and be an opportunity for folks to come in and thank you for your great service, or whatever, kick you out for your bad service, depending on who is addressing you at the time.
Greg will probably be there.
All right. So with that, Ron, Councilmember Stevens?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Yes, I think so. Can't think of it. Yes, I think so. All right, I'm sorry. A motion by Councilmember Stevens, second by Councilmember Garlick. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.